Welcome back to That Dad Guy. It is January 31st, 2025, the last day of January. We're going into a new month starting tomorrow, which means there's going to be new videos coming out. And if you're saying, hey, wait a minute, you wore that sweater in yesterday's video. If you're astute, yes, I did. It's quite cozy, it's quite warm, and it's been really cold here. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to wear this sweater 2 days in a row. I can be just that crazy. And that's what I did. So today you're probably tuning in to find out what mail did you get this week, and I got a good stack of it. I even got 6 official cards from Postcrossing, so we're going to go through those. We're going to find out what little surprises are there, and there'll be some teases too, of course, because there's always been a few stamp-related items that come in that we do in a later video, so we will talk about those as well. If you're finding my channel for the first time, make sure you like, you subscribe, you leave positive comments, you share with other people, and you put the notification bell on so you don't miss things like live streams I tend to do on Saturdays. Every Saturday, actually, I do those live streams wherever I am in the world. And I've been doing them on Wednesdays as well, doing a decorating where you get to choose how we decorate. So we're going to continue to do some of those live streams. So you want to make sure the notification bell's on so you don't miss out on those. All right, let's get to the postcards that we have. Oh, yeah, and I did say it was cold. This morning when I went to work, it was minus 20 before the wind chill. It's like minus 27 or something like that. It has warmed up to about minus 8, somewhere around minus 10, 12 with the wind chill, and we're getting snow again. So that's what's happening outside. Well, what's happening inside is we're looking at postcards, and the first one is this amazing postcard. For those of you who collect Postcrossing stamps, I love the fact that this is a Postcrossing stamp postcard. And it says, we celebrate Postcrossing stamp in Germany in 2022. Many Postcrossers have written many postcards for many years to make this German Postcrossing stamp come true, which I know Canadians are doing as well, and Americans are doing as well, trying to get their Postcrossing stamp. Today I'm happy to send this postcard with a special stamp to you. And it's got the Postcrossing cancellation there. Of course, this comes from Germany. There are some stamps on the other side too. And I love the fact, you know, she's been able to decorate. She put some washi tape on. She put some stickers on, the addresses on, and she still wrote a giant message in there. Now, I always thought that my printing was small. This is much smaller. This comes from Annette. She's 37 years old. She's married with 3 children, all girls. She lives in Bayreuth, which is known for Wagner festivals. But besides Wagner, there is a much more inspiring person. And she says she's talking about Margravin Wilhelmine. She was a Prussian princess and composer living from 1709 to 1758. She didn't live very long, but I guess it was those time frames when people didn't. She says she was in Bayreuth, the same city. Beautiful romantic city, 80,000 inhabitants. We have many parks and castles in our city. She built a opera house for her daughter's engagement present. That's quite the engagement present. The daughter was 16 years old at the time. She said there are many freaky stories about Bayreuth's past, much more interesting than Wagner. Greetings to your YouTube followers. So she knew that this was going to end up on YouTube. Thank you, Annette, for doing that. Thank you for all the great interesting details. She said she grew up in Bonn, which was the capital before Berlin as well in there. I've seen these Postcrossing stamps. I got one last week. Someone sent special to me again saying that they've been discontinued. You can't get them anymore. So to have this postcard, which I didn't know exists, with the postcard, the stamp, and the cancellation is extra special. So thank you, Annette. What a way to start off the mail that's coming in. The next postcard, equally unique. It has a little bit of sparkle to it too. This comes from Japan, and it comes from Hitomi. She's 38 years old. She likes singing, traveling, reading mystery novels, and going to the theater. She's obsessed with Rex from Hudson and Rex. And then she says he's very cute. Well, I didn't know what Hudson and Rex was, so I went on IMDb. I checked it out and saw that it is a kind of a detective show that has a dog, Rex, and Hudson, I guess. So, yeah. It's been going around. It's been going since 2019, I think, and it has some other variations too from other countries that have adopted it as well. So thank you, Hitomi, for this beautiful postcard. The lovely stamp on there, some decorations with a little washi tape in there too. I appreciate the effort, and I always like hearing about new TV shows. The show that I just finished watching with my wife has 2 seasons. There'll be a 3rd season coming out. It's called Alice in Borderlands. Now, this isn't for everyone. It is a Japanese show. If you've ever seen the Korean show Squid Game, it's very similar. It isn't a game, but it is a game. You kind of have to watch it to figure out what's going on in that one. So, yeah, it's a bit gruesome too. So if you're not into gore, maybe it's not your thing. But that's what we just finished watching. And we're doing other things. We're watching shows like Silo, and I'm going back and watching Mad Men. So yeah, I like watching TV when I get the chance. All right, that tangent done. Look at this beautiful card. This one comes from the Netherlands. And this comes from Wouter. And he says, Happy New Year from Kukenhof. With its colorful flowers, wishing you a colorful 2025. This is beautiful, but look at the stamp. At first, I thought there was a priority mail or an airmail sticker put over the stamp, but no, if you get it nice and close, it is kind of circular, but it does veer out, and this is part of the stamp. So I haven't seen that one before, so beautiful stamp. Love it. Thank you so much. The next card comes from China, and it is these lovely mailboxes. Always like mailbox cards. And says her name is Jin, and which means quiet in English, and she lives in the Huen, a city with history of more than 2,000 years. There are still some old buildings here, and it's one of the main birthplaces of the Huen cuisine. And look at the stamps. So thank you so much for that. All right, the next card comes from Poland, and she says she lives in a small town near the capital. There's lots of pine trees and wooden buildings. She loves traveling and visit every country between Greece and Norway. Her next destination will be Japan. Lucky, lucky, lucky. There are the stamps. As you guys know, I'd love to go to Japan one day, so hopefully I will. And this comes from Carolina, so thank you for that. She's even put a little hedgehog on there. If you're off to Japan, have a fabulous trip. All right, the next card, another mailboxes card. This one comes from Belarus, and it says her name is Oksana, and she lives in a small town in the southeast of Belarus, and she says best wishes. And then there is the stamp, which I like the fact that she's done the corner, so I've got the whole outside edge of the stamp as well. Thank you, Oksana. The next envelope that arrived, and the last official one that came from Postcrossing, comes from Austria. It comes in an envelope. And look at the beautiful stamps on there, including like the whole presentation. It came in an envelope, and it is a folded card, beautiful flowers. And it says, I live in the small town about 100 kilometers from Vienna on the Danube. It has been cold, about -5 degrees Celsius. Might be cold for you, but it's not cold as it is here. And it's been cold like that for a week, but there's no snow here. We got your snow. On the card, you can see many flowers. It says, flowers are on all the balconies in Austria in the summer. I have some stamps for your father on the envelope. So these stamps, and it says the left shows the portrait of the famous Empress of Austria. It says Empress Sissy. On the stamp, it also says Elizabeth. But yeah. So thank you for that. I really appreciate it. It's always nice when someone gives a little extra effort. And, you know, I'm not always asking. Well, I'm never asking for anything. But when you see someone who's read your profile and picks out certain things, that's what I like to do with my cards too. When you can find that perfect card that seems to be fit in someone's profile, that's what you send. All right, that's it for official ones. Now let's look at what showed up from direct swaps and surprises. The first one in an envelope coming from Little Rock, Arkansas. And if you know who I communicate with in Arkansas, you'll know this comes from the famous Renee. And if you're following Renee on social media, she's got a YouTube channel as well, Renee Lewis, so you want to go check out hers. She sent me a folded Christmas card wishing me nice greetings, and in it she put some stickers. So I've got some more stickers I can use when I'm decorating postcards. Some of you say you need to organize your stickers. I probably do, but right now I've been organizing my stamps, so you can only do so many things at a time. All right, the next thing I have is an envelope, and it comes from Finland. This one comes from Media, and look, Media, it was never canceled. These stamps are still in a good condition. Inside, she has sent this card, and she sent it on January 18th. And she says she was going to the travel fair, which I knew she was because she sent me messages on Instagram. And she got some exciting things there too, all for free. We have a nice bear card. Looks kind of like a bear you might see around here too. But Finland and Canada do have some similarities in their animals and their ecosystems. And this fun one here, which says Oulu will be the European capital for culture next year. And she has a cousin that lives there. It's kind of neat within the EU that they move around the capitals, and so different countries and different cities get to play host. The mail system wasn't done though. Another envelope, uncancelled, arrived from Media. Got to take in the stamps. They're always lovely. This one though was mailed on December the 30th. Got this nice painting palette and some different color paints at the bottom. She said she was going to go to her father's place for lunch on January 1st, so it was a good way to ring in the new year. And then this card was also in there. It's pretty cute. Nice little cartoon card. And she talks about her schooling and her work that was coming up, so I'm glad things are going well for you, Media. All right, the next one is another envelope, and it comes a little more local. Is this one here. It comes from Nova Scotia, Halifax, Nova Scotia to be exact. It comes from Mindy. She is also a fellow postie. And we've had a couple things. She sent me 2 things before the strike that never arrived, so we don't know where they ended up. And then I sent her a card, and it never ended up. So I sent her another one, and she did get that one, which was good. So we're wondering what was happening with our mail. But in it, she sent me a bunch of postcards. These ones here are free postcards that you can get from the Veterans Association at veterans.gc.ca. Some really nice postcards. And then we have a bunch of other ones that she's added into, which are pretty cute. Lots of bears. And then ones that are a bit more anime, which I've got a lot of people that I see that love anime. Mindy is one of them. So it's nice to have cards that I can send other people that they enjoy those different styles. And then she wasn't done. She sent one more, and she sent it in a envelope with her address. So if it got lost, it was able to be returned to her. So she said it's this one, Princess Diana, when she came to visit St. John, New Brunswick. She said she didn't get a chance to see Charles and Diana when they came to Atlantic Canada. Asked if I had. I didn't at the time either. Maybe I should have made that effort to get to see them if I had had a crystal ball and knew what was going to happen in the future. So yeah, there is the stamps. There's even a stamp on the card that was inside the envelope. So thanks so much for that. The stamp inside though, it's $2.65. You put an expensive stamp on there. So thank you for that. All right, the next card is a classic combine card. Harvesting the fields. This comes from Monty in Saskatchewan. I'm sure you've seen a few harvesters in your day, Monty. He said he wanted to say hi, but he also wanted to send this Archerville, Saskatchewan cancellation. It's a nice big cancellation. Love that. So you can see it's got the Canada flag and the Saskatchewan flag in there too. Thank you, Monty. The next card I have arrived from Las Vegas, and it is a Stadium Series card. This comes from Ross, who was traveling once again and found himself in Las Vegas. And so this is where the Golden Knights NHL team plays, but he went and saw the Sabres and the Knights play, and it was 3-1 for the local team to the victor. Oh, and there is a forever stamp on the back. So thanks, Ross, for continuing to send me cards from all your travelings. The next card was a request card. So I had a gentleman, Nalim, reached out from Czech Republic asking if I would send him a card and he could send me a card. So we did do the swap this time around. And so he sent this beautiful card. He says, I send you greetings from the Czech Republic, from our small village. You can come see our beautiful church from the 14th century. And there is the Czech stamp. So yeah, thank you for that card. And I know he has received my card too because he sent me a message. Okay, the next card comes from Lexi, and Lexi's in Georgia. And this card's had a little bit of a mishap through the post, but very cute. Hedgehog sitting in a teacup. He said, I knew this card needed to go your way. It reminded me of Polo in the coffee cup, which was immortalized here in an art form too that was sent to me. So thank you, Sam, for doing that. It always sits here on my desk. Reminds me of that. So I can see why when you saw this card, it reminded you of that, Lexi. And there are the stamps. So thank you. Okay, the next few things I have to show you come from the same person. Let me just make sure I've got all these together. You know what? I actually missed another card too, but all right, well, let's start with this. This comes from Eric in Hong Kong. He sent me an aerogram. What is an aerogram, you might ask? Well, there's the page. You write inside of it, you fold it up, it gets sealed, and so you mail the single page as an aerogram, an airmail type thing. What he wanted to do was he wanted to send, which he sent 3 things, all by different types of mail. So either an airmail one, an aerogram one, or regular postage, which they all cost different amounts in Hong Kong. So for sending the same message, what was going to be the cheapest option and how quickly would they get to me? Well, I can tell you they all arrived this week. So if you paid more for one, it all arrived at the same time. Now, we have been working through a backlog since the strike. So maybe some of the things got caught up somewhere else. So if he was to send those same 3 things, say, on Monday next week, would they all get here in the same time? I don't know. But this time they all did. He is very good at writing letters. Most of us have kind of given up that hobby for doing it. He thanks me for the postal videos that I put out and all the other things. He wanted to talk about aerograms. He said it's very hard to find an aerogram now. He did find these envelopes at one post office and bought all the ones that they had, so he has them all. He says it costs about 90 cents to send an aerogram versus this one cost $5.40, or the equivalent in Hong Kong dollars, of course. But he says it's kind of been a lost art. He also has lots of different color pens. So he fills the letter with all sorts of different color pens, changing it all the time. So that's with that. I won't go through every detail of the letter. The next one I got, though, was this airmail one. And in it, once again, a written letter. So he talks about the strike and how it was coming to an end, and he wants to know about what's happening with the post office here. And so we've also communicated on Instagram, so a lot of the questions he's asked I've either answered on Instagram for him. But it's kind of nice. You don't get handwritten letters very much anymore. With the emergence of Facebook Messenger, FaceTime with Apple, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, whatever, everybody can communicate pretty quickly. I mean, yes, there are time zones and differences you have to worry about and take into consideration, but not very often does someone take a piece of paper, take the time to write a letter, which Eric did 3 times, and sent things off at pretty decent expense to do it, to communicate. It's nice to get the letter, but I can see if Eric has a question now, he can send me a message on Instagram and I can message him right back. He sends me beautiful pictures of cuisine and things, especially today. He sent me some stuff about Chinese New Year and food that he's had over the last few days and views of Hong Kong from where he lives. It's amazing to be able to see those things and, get a face-to-face selfie too, so we can see who we're talking to, which you don't get in a letter. But being able to open up a piece of mail and read a story is nice. Quite often we write postcards and we decorate them and we put a 2 or 3 sentence message on, and it kind of gives us a limited amount. Where a full letter, where it's 2 pages, you know, he also says he doesn't have a computer to do a lot of different things, so he's still kind of forced to write letters. If he wants to communicate with different agencies, he writes them a letter. He doesn't send them an email or print out a form and stuff because he doesn't have a computer to print off different things. So yeah, we're getting to a technological age where we're so dependent on computers, we forget about the other things, you know. Script writing, cursive, isn't taught in schools anymore, at least not here in Canada, and not in this part of the country anyways. Maybe you have an area in Canada and you say, yeah, in my school it still is. All right, maybe some areas do, but for the most part it isn't. And I can tell you, here in the schools that my kids went to, they weren't taught it. So when they get a letter in cursive from their grandmother or something, they don't know how to read it. It's a shame that we've lost that technology. When we went to, and technology, I mean that ability to read cursive, to write in cursive, because now we text, we use our fingers to type something out, and if we spell it wrong, we use an autocorrect to try to fix it, and grammatically we use a correctional app to fix it. So we don't have to know those things because we're dependent on a computer already correcting them for us. Yeah, it's a sad time sometimes that way. And for someone like me, who has grown up partly with a computer and not with a computer, I'm kind of in that middle ground. I like doing things. I like to being able to communicate with people, but I also feel special when I get a letter in the mail. So thank you, Eric. All right. When I was talking about one of those things I missed, Media sent another envelope. It was just mixed into the other things. You can see there's the stamp. So I received 3 envelopes from her, and this is a Postcrossing meetup one. She said she bought the card. She wasn't actually at the meetup this time around because she had some other things she wanted to do, but because she got the card for some people, she sent one to me. So thank you so much, Media, for that, and of course for the stamps once again. The next card I got was from Anita in Austria, and we have this lady lounging with her cat in what looks like Mrs. Claus's robes. Maybe it's a Christmas card. It was sent on the 19th of December, and so it took about a month to get here. I said, hope you had an enjoyable days, you and your family and friends. Happy 2025. So same to you. And there are the Christmas tree stamps from Austria. So thank you, Anita. All right, now we're into the, let's call it the Christian of Australia phase. We have a maxi card from him once again. This is the first card of the year I'm sending to you. I hope you like it. Here's to a great 2025. It's a prepaid card, but there is a stamp on the front. Maxi card, so thank you for that. There's another maxi card that has arrived. How many of you had record players in your house? I never had one that was this large, but we certainly had a record player growing up. It says, after hearing of the postal strike has ended, hope you get a good deal. And so this was the card he sent after the postal strike ended. Whether we get a good deal, well, we'll find out in May, because that's when they push the deadline to now. All right, the next card, also from Christian, says, please enjoy this card of Port Douglas, a popular ocean tourist destination he's been to once and he loved it. I got to swim on the Great Barrier Reef. I also have swam on the Great Barrier Reef. I've been to Port Douglas. There are the stamps. I even got to do a little scuba diving when I was there. Took my little test and stuff to do it. So that was a lot of fun, great memories. And then finally, Christian sent this envelope. And in it, you can see there are stamps. So we will set that aside, and you'll see that in a video next week. There will be some stamp videos coming out next week, though, too. Stamp of the month is coming, probably tomorrow. And a new giveaway to go along with that, with my friends Liverpool Stamps and Stephen of Australia always contributing. And so we'll have a nice giveaway for that once again. Stamp versus stamp. Snail Mail with Smokey and I have been in discussions, and I've got the early ball rolling on that, so we're hoping to have a video out sometime next week to keep you into that quirkiness of stamp collecting. So look out for those, and the stamp videos like this envelope that arrived. This comes from Debbie in Ohio. And so she's been sending me some emails back and forth. I was kind of waiting for the ban to lift from U.S. mailing stuff back into Canada again. She wanted to send me a few things. And so this arrived. And I'm not going to get into too much other than I will show you this nice vintage postcard of Ohio. I have a cousin, Nancy, who's in Ohio, and some great friends that are there too. So Ohio's been good to me, so it's nice to hear something from Debbie now, another friend in Ohio. And so that postcard she sent, and then she sent some stamps. So we're going to push that off until next week, so you're kind of teased into seeing that. The next one is an envelope from Ida Marie in the U.S. So not in Ohio, but in Maryland. And so she also sent me a few stamps after watching one of the videos I did in the past. She says, you know, I went to a stamp show and I got some things, and I got some stuff that maybe I can send to you. So that's what she's done. She sent me a few things based on a video I showed you in the past. And we'll talk about that when you see the other video. Now, the final thing, also stamp related. So if you're in for postcards, we're done with the postcards for right now, for this week. This envelope arrived. I teased it in the giveaway for January. We revealed the winner, Kay in the Philippines won. And so at the end of that video, I said, I also got this envelope arrived from Liverpool Stamps. This is some of the stuff that's going to be in the giveaway coming up for the month of February. So I'm glad to have that in my hands now. I'm still waiting on a couple other things to arrive or for me to pick up at the local stamp show in another week's time. So you won't get to see this just yet, but you might get to see it in the teaser after I do the Stamp of the Month video, which might be out tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. Well, that is everything, and that is a lot of stuff that has arrived this week. Thank you to Postcrossing for sending me some mail, and to my friends for continuing to keep in touch with me through snail mail. I know it's not easy anymore with the price of stamps going up all the time. It's harder and harder to keep the communication going through snail mail when we know it's just as easy to send a message on Instagram or FaceTime or whatever and still get the same message. So I appreciate that there are many of you out there that still want to say, hey, the old-fashioned way. And I do appreciate that, because I know it costs money and it costs time. And you have to have patience, because the thing that you want to tell someone so badly, it only arrives when it arrives. It's not instantaneous like technology has given us today. So I guess if there's something you want to ask and get an answer really quickly, send it the old-fashioned, or send it the new way. But other than that, I'm happy to wait. I'll check my mailbox and see what arrives. And it lets me put out videos like this every Friday, showing me all the different things. There are always surprises arriving, and stuff that I never expect. I hear from new people all the time. Debbie in Ohio was one of these new people that has reached out. And I've continued to be blown away by the reach that my channel gets to, or our channel gets to. I've put a poll up. It's actually round 2 of that poll up on YouTube right now. I'd like to encourage you to go and vote on it. People keep saying, you know, we're part of that dad guy crew, or that guy family, or that dad guy gang, or whatever it happens to be. I'm curious, what do you like to be called if you're watching this? So I put up the top 3. There was 4 before. I've dropped the 4th one off, and the top 3 are up there now. So I'd love to see if you could vote on it. The first time we did the poll, only 45 people of the 2,000 plus subscribers I have voted on it. So I'd love to see a higher number and see what the real demographic will be. And in another week or 10 days, I will take that poll and go to round 3 and put the top 2 to find out who the winner is going to be. So when we're doing the You Choose decorating videos on the Wednesdays, I can sign it by what you want it to be signed by. I've used that dad guy gang and that dad guy family and that dad guy crew on many of the cards already. I like it to be something standard. what it comes out to be. So I appreciate you, and that's what I'm trying to say. Thank you so much for watching and getting us to where we are now. Where will we be at the end of 2025? Only time will tell. For now, have a magical week. What, Polo? You say like, subscribe, share, and tell all your friends?
Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?
Bye. -7 feels like -11, and this is what it looks like in our neighborhood now. So you can see a couple centimeters of snow every day is starting to add up. And I walked to the mailbox. You can see my footprints. Yeah, there's more than the 2 centimeters they said that was coming, and it just stopped snowing.